All right, been a while since we've done a beer out of Yards Brewing from Philadelphia. This is their IPA. It's a year-round offering, obviously, as most, if not all, well, most IPAs are, I guess. There are seasonal IPAs. I don't know what I'm thinking about. This is an English IPA. We've done a few in the style Victory Moving Parts. Actually, that was the only one that we've done in the style Victory Moving Parts, and I was not a fan. But I may have had it when it was outdated. So it might have been past the freshness. So give it a pass on that. 7% ABV is what this one comes into us at. 85 on Beer Advocate, which is very good. A 91 on Rate Beer. So Rate Beer rates it higher than Beer Advocate. All I see here is firm malt background, and it uses Chinook and Amarillo hops. There is a blurb here. There are a couple blurbs. You know, this blurb is just basically about the brewery. I probably read that before. Of course, Yards is out of Philadelphia. But this one says, IPAs were originally brewed to survive the epic sea voyages from England to India. Ours is no different. Hailing from a firm malt background and loaded through and through with hops, this beer will surely survive the journey from your fridge to your couch. So there you have it. Not really much of anything information-wise about the beer, just kind of a fun little blurb. Of course, we know about the sea voyages from England, India, hence the higher ABV, so it lasted a little longer. And that gave birth to the IPA movement, which is probably, other than the macro breweries, the most popular style of craft beer out there today. So here is Yards IPA. As we pour it in, we see a very, very amber hue, very, very orangey, darkish IPA. Not one of those lighter IPAs, and with a very thin film of head, just extremely thin, maybe about a fifth of a finger, maybe a sixth, and it's actually dissipating more and more. Actually kind of has an appearance of a double IPA, like a Dogfish Head 90, with a very, very thin head. Kind of surprised about how thin this head is for a 7% ABV beer. So let's get the aroma now of Yards IPA. Very, very dank, and not getting a ton of potency from the citrus. It tastes like a very subtle, dank kind of grapefruit. Very, very subtle, dank, and almost a bit like a pale ale, but just a little bit less of an aroma. So let's get the taste now of Yards IPA. You know what? A little bit more fruity and piney than I was thinking of. In the front of the tongue, the back of the tongue, it gets a little harsh and dank. But not bad at all. It does have just a harsh grapefruity backbone to it. So it does have a bit of a bitterness and an aftertaste in the back of the tongue, or back of the throat, I should say. But for an English IPA, it tastes like a pretty good representation of the style, and I certainly love it a lot more, or like it, I should say, a lot more than Victory Moving Parts. So I'm going to go ahead and give Yards IPA a 7 out of 10. I think they did a decent job with this beer. It's not, the most unbelievable IPA in the world, but it's not something that I think one would be disappointed in either. So the appearance looks like a double IPA. I like the orange hue, the darker orange hue. The aroma is probably where it gets a little bit knocked off, in that it really is a little subtle. The taste, I like the pininess in the front of the tongue, and the harshness in the back of the tongue, the dankness of the grapefruit in the back of the tongue, which might be a tad too harsh, but not that bad. But it's just overall a good beer. So I'm giving it an 8 out of 10 for Yards IPA. Thanks.